Brutal weather is also a major headline in Europe right now. Large areas in the south of the continent remain in the grip of a sweltering heat wave this morning. In Croatia, temperatures have soared over 40 degrees, fueling wildfires that have consumed homes and vehicles. Temperatures are expected to remain in the high 30s throughout the weekend. The heat wave is expected to break records in neighboring countries as well. And Abby Kukudasan is monitoring this story for us. She joins me now from the streets of Berlin. Good morning, Abby. What's the latest on this heat wave?
Chris, here in the German capital, temperatures are expected to rise even further into the mid-30s heading into the weekend. The European Space Agency says that Northern Europe will not escape the impact of this latest heat wave, that France and Switzerland, too, will see these sweltering conditions. But as we know, right now, it's Southern Europe that's bearing the brunt of this latest heat wave that's being caused by this high-pressure system that they've named Cerberus after the three-headed monster in Dante's Inferno. If we go to Greece now, temperatures climbing into the high 30s. But despite that, thousands of tourists are flocking to landmarks there in the Greek capital, like the Acropolis. Here are what some of the tourists, including a Canadian, had to say about the conditions.
Well, I'm from Canada, so I'm used to cold, so I don't mind the heat at all. I take advantage of this. We have a super short summer, so as long as I can be in the sun, I'm happy. I don't care what the weather is.
We were in Florence, Rome, and had to actually have the paramedics called because the heat was so bad. So it's pretty hard, but it's awesome that the Red Cross is here.
Now, the Red Cross is on site. They're handing out water bottles for free. They've set up shade tents. They're also directing tourists to public buildings that have air conditioning so they can get some relief. In Italy, too, very similar, very hot, warm condition. So at least 10 cities have issued red alerts, and officials there saying this is not just for people who they would normally consider vulnerable. This is for everyone. And in Spain, there are reports that some ground temperatures in certain areas could hit 60 degrees Celsius. If we're looking at heat maps in some places there, they're going from dark red to black, Chris, really highlighting the severity of the weather conditions right now.
Stay cool and carry on seems to be the motto, even for the tourists behind you, Abby. But these heat waves are pretty serious. We saw it last year. How does this compare to what we saw across Europe last summer?
Well, the UN has already said that the first few days in July were among the hottest ever recorded on the planet. And meteorologists pointing out that this summer is going to be even warmer than last summer. And that's not only because of the impacts of climate change, but because of an El Nino weather pattern, one that hasn't been experienced in several years. And experts saying, we can't turn back the clock on climate change, but there is still hope. Let's have a listen.
We're not going to cool down global temperatures anytime soon. Maybe decades from now we'll have the technology to do that. What we can do is prevent it from getting worse.
As of right now, experts saying we will experience more heat waves, they will be more intense, and they will occur more frequently.
All right, Abby, thank you for your report. Abby Kukudasan in Berlin.